Hello and welcome to Crossing the Line, a podcast about pushing boundaries, about daily opinions, and seeing how far people can take a joke. I am Z.
And I am Dee, and our episode for today is Halloween movies. Now, Z kind of started this off. It was your idea to kind of talk about Halloween movies. I'm going to let you kick this off for a change.
Okay, all right. Well, I was gonna say movies in general, but I do like how we are starting off with Halloween. I just saw the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, um, and it's a wow movie. It's I don't know how to explain it. I there's like a lot of things I could talk off. Like one of the things is people are saying like, oh, you went to a movie theater. I don't go to movie theaters much anymore. I'm not a fan of them. I'm tired of hearing people fucking talking, like, making noises, like stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I get that's the experience, but like, I like to watch a movie and not have someone lean over to me and go, did you know I farted and it smells like the popcorn I just ate? It's like, I don't want to fucking hear that. I want to hear how that person you see on the screen is dying because some movie magic dipshit, they only had 6 rounds in that gun, fired off a seventh round and it imagined the ricochet off of 30 different fucking lamps and poles and shit and hit that one fucker right in the heart. It's like, but, it's, like I said, I don't like going to movie theaters and because, I don't know, it's like the immersiveness just gets ruined. But, Peacock, not to saying we're sponsored or anything by them, but, Peacock had the movie come out the same day as it hit theaters. And I'm thinking, I'm shocked that no movie theater business goes like straight to digital online. Like still have it in the theaters, but you can also put it online, even if people are paying like $5-10 to rent it. You can watch it there for $10. And
Yeah.
then it's like instead of going to the theater, the only difference is you're missing out is the popcorn, but then you don't have to pay the employees to make the popcorn, which unfortunately then is going to take jobs away. But it is what it is. How the world is
Hey,
too
I mean,
technological heavy. Yeah.
movie theater popcorn hits different.
You're not
I will
wrong.
say that.
You're not
Like,
wrong.
there is something, I don't know what they do to it, but I can never replicate it at home.
Yeah, no. I've had a few times where I've like went there and I've like told the person, I'm like, listen, I'm not buying a movie ticket. I just want to go buy like a thing of popcorn. Can I go buy a bag of popcorn? And they go, for real? And I'm like, yeah, seriously, all I want is a bag of popcorn. You can even walk with me to make sure, and like that's it. And only once one of the people I was doing tickets had a manager come over and the manager walked over with me and I bought 2 bags of popcorn because we were going to do a movie weekend night at like a friend's house like a while back. And I bought 2 big ass bags of popcorn. It cost me like $40-50, but I got 2 big bags of popcorn and I left. And yeah, I'm like, shit, like that's just there. You're not wrong. Like the popcorn there at the movie theater, they hits differently. Their drinks do too, to be honest. Like they're not watered down like at half the restaurants you go to. Like they have flavor. The only
Oh, for
bad thing
sure.
is if you got to pee and you're in the middle of a movie and you're just like, I can't get up, I can't miss it. Yeah,
And you can't pause it. That's the
no.
sucky thing.
I mean, you take like Ken, if everyone stood up and started making a riot or a loud noise, then you're gonna get yelled at. It's like, listen, I did all this because I have to take a shit. Give me like 5 minutes so we can restart the movie.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even imagine.
I could see me doing that. Not to
I
throw
could
my own
definitely
ass.
see you doing it.
Not to throw my own ass under the bus, but yeah. What about you? What's like one of your favorite scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie?
Hold on. If we're going back, how was Freddy's?
It's
You're talking
good.
about it.
It's good.
I've seen like I've definitely everybody's had to see at least the trailer once for it because
Mm,
it's been on probably like every social media platform out there. And even I think they like play previews on like your TV every so often. But it
yeah.
definitely looked interesting. But I was kind of hesitant, like especially with a lot of movies nowadays, they're always like hit or miss. And the trailers I think sometimes amp it up way too much for
Oh
some of
yeah.
the
You
movies.
you can't follow the trailers at all. You really can't. Perfect example I can lay off of that because I'll say 2 things about this. Like thing you can lay off for, or not lay off, but like lead into. Like for example, Spider-Man: No Way Home. The trailer only showed him. Now this is coming from like a nerd geeky side like of me here. Like I love my Marvel superheroes. I love my video games. I love my comic books. That's just who I am and that's the stuff I enjoy. But like with Spider-Man No Way Home, they show a scene where it's just Spider-Man facing off against 3 villains. but that was the trailer. When the actual scene, it was all three Spider-Mans from the other past era movies were there. You know, the Tobey Maguire movie, the Andrew Garfield movie, and then the Tom Holland movie series.
Yeah.
Those three actors were in there. And it's like, you know, they edit trailers to make it more pleasing and like hide secrets than anything else. So it's like, yeah, you can't go off of a trailer unless you already know the series beforehand, or if you're just willing to give it a shot. But coming back to Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's spoiler alert warning ish, I guess you could say. So if you know the games, because this movie is based off the games, or at least this series is, the franchise is, to my knowledge at least. If you know how to play the games, this movie's not like that. Because I mean, how long would that movie be of someone sitting there looking at a camera left, right, listening for audio cues, checking cameras, looking left, right, oh, there's Bonnie, close the door, and hope that they can survive, quote unquote, 6 hours of their power
Yeah.
not going out. You know, what 6 minutes in game is 6 hours, or 6 minutes IRL is 6 hours in game. You know, it's like that would have been like a 10-minute movie and ta-da, done. You know, that would have been it. But no, this movie had a lot. The movie is actually based off of a book series, and I was reading the series for a little bit, but I stopped. I just haven't had like the motivation to read, but continue reading. But it's wow, and it's on Peacock. So I mean, if you're down, D, at some point, like if you're free sometime, let me know. Unless you already have Peacock, just watch it on Peacock. I think as long as you have like the $5 Peacock, I think it is, you can watch it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'll
if
definitely have
not,
to check it out.
if not, let me know and I'll throw up a stream somewhere and see if we get more people to watch it. Because some people are willing to. I've already known people that have watched it like 4 or 5 times.
Oh wow. So it definitely must be decently good.
Yeah, like I'm gonna rewatch it because I want to see more Easter eggs that I missed. And yeah, so just let me know.
Of course.
But anyways, back to you though. Like, what is, you know, we're going off of Halloween movies. Like, what is one of your favorite scary movies?
See, but here's gonna be my question. Do you mean like horror movies or more like Halloween based movies?
Either
'Cause
or.
there's definitely. See, some people might laugh on this, but when I was younger, I was definitely one of those Halloween Town
Oh
people
God.
on Disney. Loved them. We'll still watch them occasionally. I don't know why. It's just, I know they're hit or miss for people, but I feel like it's definitely like an OG Disney Halloween movie if like you want to watch it. I mean, I could see people kind of disagreeing with that and maybe saying like Frankenweenie or some other Disney movies, but for me, Halloween Town was definitely my main um go-to Halloween movie. But recently I did definitely get into Saw. My brother, we watched the first one. We have not gotten to watch any of the other ones, which I have been told that the first one is not the best one. So definitely kind of excited to get more into those
Yeah.
as we go on.
Well, it was actually ironic. No, speaking of Saw's, like not cut you off or anything, but you know, Saw's budget was only $1.2 million. That was it.
I like how you say only as if that's a bad.
That is a bad thing.
Well, I mean, yeah,
'Cause-
definitely for movies that is.
Yeah, because like technically, because actually, if I remember correctly, I want to say the first Saw movie was made off of 2 college students' like video project. Like they came up with a project or whatever it is, and apparently it did so good at the schools. I don't remember. I remember hearing something about this. I don't remember word for word, but yeah, I want to say that the budget or like the movie was made off of like 2 college students that did a project for their class, and then
Oh, that's interesting.
it turned into a movie. And like I just googled it real quick because a lot of people say Saw 1 was bad. I thought Saw 1 was better than the others, like for some of them for a while, because like, you know, how many times can you have like a movie like this? Not to
I
be
know.
disrespectful on it, but like, you know, it's like people would say like how there's so many Marvel movies, or there, how many Fast and the Furious movies can you make? Keep making, like, okay, we get it, but it's like then at that point it's like how many Saw movies can you make? You know, it's like, okay, heroes technically there's for Marvel movies or DC movies, they always have that new villain that you haven't seen on the screen yet that through the comic books that you can face.
Yeah.
You know, Fast and the Furious, how many times are you going to drive around a corner and speed and slam and do an insanely amount of stunts? You know, Saw,
that's
how many times can you
also-
catch and kill people?
I feel like that also has to go along with like Scream too, like that whole
Yeah.
Scream saga. Like, how many Scream movies can you make until you start running out of characters to base
Yeah.
them off of?
Right.
But
Uh,
it's funny because the Saw movies, one of our co-workers watched and they were telling me about it because they actually watched it backwards. So from like the newest one to like the oldest one. And it was so funny because they were describing it to me. And they're like, yeah, I'd be watching the movie and all the time be like, oh, that is right. That happened like in the movie before this that I have not watched. And that's why they're not here or something like that. And I just found that hilarious to definitely like watch them backwards and realize, oh, that's why that's not.
damn. So like,
But
that's isn't that's interesting to be honest. Like that really is.
I kind of wonder like how it all lines up if you were to watch it backwards. The thing is, I have to watch it forwards first to be able to
Yeah.
understand what's going on in the first place.
Yeah. I mean that I can understand. Like, yeah, you're gonna go forward, you're gonna look forward to see what's going on. And because like if you start technically, it's like to me, like I don't like spoilers at all for any movies. Like I will, as soon as I know there's a movie I want to watch, I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not on like any social media sites by chance because I know someone's gonna spoil it. I mean, hell, I even avoid like Discord and that. And like a Discord is a program we use to like even right now to record these podcasts. You know, it's like I don't even I barely even touch Discord. And like in one of the servers that I own, I've told people, I said, if you spoil it, you're banned. Like you spoil any movie, you're banned. My rule is if the movie's been out for like say 2 years, okay, you could technically talk about it. If it's been out for like 2 years, then fine. You know, then by all means talk the whole movie out if you'd like. You know, but if it's been like only like 6 months and you're gonna go like, oh yeah, it's like, listen, don't you fucking spoil it. Because some of us wait
Better
for it to go
watch the movie
digital.
then.
Well, it's like I'll wait till it goes digital where it's cheaper. You know, that way I'm not sitting there paying 40, $50 to go sit in a movie theater with a bowl of popcorn or a bucket of popcorn and hearing this one kid next to me going, you know, did you know that farts don't have lumps? Look. And then he holds a bag of shit. I'll be like, I'm going to punch you, you little bastard.
I want
But
to know what movie experiences you're having that's an issue.
I can name 3 off the bat, like 3 right away.
Gosh.
Real quick. One time, I can't remember what movie we were watching, but some kid had like a metal ring or something, and he kept tapping on this fucking pole behind him, and like people kept telling him to shush. And eventually, a buddy of mine got up and like put his hand like on his foot and said, "If you keep this up, I'm breaking your fucking neck." And so we told you to stop dinging on this damn pole. And the kids is like, "Okay, we're sorry." And then we had like another incident where like me and so I think it was me and some other coworkers I worked with. We went to another movie and there was someone like tapping on a pole, and I finally just was like, "Will you stop?" And like the kid just like stopped, and I guess whenever when we were leaving, they're talking mad shit to us or whatever, but like none of us were listening to them. But I had one where I think it was like the new Doctor Strange movie. This couple sitting next to me, and you know those coats that are like a windbreaker coat, like where if you rub it's like the sound or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
His wife starts rubbing his back in the middle of the fucking movie while it's quiet. And I even looked at her, and she just looked at me and nodded. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Do you mind stopping?" Like all I'm hearing is scraping over here. And he even looks at her and he goes like, "Yeah, why did you stop rubbing? Why did you start rubbing my back?" And she's like, "Well, I thought you liked it." He's like, "No, I
Oh
mean,
my
like, can you
gosh,
please stop?" You know,
not at
like,
a movie
he's like, "Can
theater
you
with
please
that
stop?
many.
Like, I want to watch the movie. I don't want to keep hearing like." Shh. She's like, "Why didn't you say anything?" And he's like, "Well, you know, I was into the movie and I wasn't thinking about it until now. I got called out." And I'm thinking, "You're an idiot, dude." And then she kept rubbing his back, and he's like, "Honey, can you please stop?" And she's like, "No, I want to rub your back." And it's like they ended up getting into an argument. Like I think they left, and I'm just like, "What the fuck?"
Way to go, Z. Way to ruin a relationship.
Good. You don't rub someone's back with a fucking windbreaker blanket or jacket on or whatever in the middle of a fucking theater. When I'm here constantly like scrape, 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 I'm gonna fucking scrape, scrape, scrape your eyes out.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
I've already gone with friends where like the whole time they're sitting next to me and they're talking, and then eventually one looks over to me and they go, "So what did I miss?" And I looked at him, I go, "Well, if you weren't fucking talking for the first 45 minutes of this movie, you would know what's going on."
I was gonna say movies are definitely not a place to socialize
Yeah,
or
I
catch up.
don't get why people do that. Or take selfies. I still found that I still
Yeah.
have that kid's phone. I was going through my no, actually I took it back. I threw those away about like a year ago. But long story short, I was out with a friend of mine. We were checking out a movie. I think it was the new GoldenEye 007 movie or whatever it was. Not with Pierce Bronze, whatever his name is, was the next guy after. But these two girls sat in the very front row, and they're taking selfies, and you're hearing their phones like going ting and all this other shit, and I'm just like, the fuck. So I start making moaning sounds. They're stopping and looking back, and I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? Like I'm like I didn't do anything. Eventually, I got down there because like we already missed half the movie, so I snuck down the aisle, got behind their seats, and I lunged up behind, going like, "What are you doing?" Like really loud and that shit, and their shit all went flying. Their purse, their makeup bags, their phones, whatever. Out of annoyance, I grabbed both the phones, took the batteries out, put them in my pocket, and like I'm like, all right. At the end of the movie, the girls finally come back. The lights are on. They're like one of their manager, whatever people are there, saying, "Did you scare them?" I'm like, "No." Like, what the fuck? All I know is like they yelled and they left. Like, can we get a refund? Because these movies, we couldn't hear shit because these girls were talking throughout the whole fucking thing. We got refunds for the tickets, but then I forgot I still had the phones on me. Got home, put them in a drawer, never thought about it. Then like fucking 8 years later, I'm opening up my junk drawer. I'm like, "Oh, that's right. I still have these phones."
Oh,
But I could throw them in the trash.
how did they not notice that they were missing?
They probably were, but they didn't look. They probably didn't know right away. Because, like I said, they didn't come back to like near the end of the movie, just like because that's when all the lights had to get put on, so they could pick up all their shit on the floor. And by then, like they dropped a lot of shit. There was like some food, there was drinks, there was like a full makeup bag. Christ, you think they're about to fucking paint like the Mona Lisa 1,000 different colors, with all the fucking amount of makeup that was on the ground. I mean, like they brought like a fucking, I don't know, what is it called? No, I probably don't have the words for it. I don't know the words. I'm probably like assuming way too wrong. But like you've seen in those like all movies, like those girls always have like that cabinet with that nice big round fancy schmancy mirror, and there's just like fucking oodles of makeup all around, so they can look in the mirror and do the makeup. Is that like a makeup cabinet or something?
A vanity mirror?
There you go, vanity mirror. It's like they brought like a fucking vanity each for makeup, and it's like, why would you do first makeup in the dark? Why would you do that? It's at a movie theater. Why?
Who knows?
I don't mean to rant on it, but Jesus Christ. I said, I just don't like going to movie theaters because I'm always hearing people either talk, they're making noises. It's like, if it's during a loud scene in that or whatever it is, and you got to like, scratch something or, let out a fart or, whisper something to someone, fine. But if it's like the quiet, like sad scene part, and all of a sudden you just see someone look over and go, I got shit. Can I go shit now? They're only dying. I've seen this 100 times. I will smack the fuck out of you if you say that. Be warned. Oh, Christ.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyways, I don't mean to take over this whole conversation. Go ahead.
Well, going off of what I said, now, do you want to list a movie?
Yeah.
Do you want a totally different rant?
Let's rant about another movie. So anyways, about Star Wars. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, we can like take it. I mean, this is based off of just movies in general. So I mean, we can go off of like, a Disney movie, a sad movie, an underrated movie.
See, but I feel like we just gotta have another movie talk then.
Yeah, I mean, we could like, what's your like saddest movie or something like that, or I don't know. But if we're going off of scary movies, I have to lead to okay, let's go off like a movie series you will never watch that's scary, like something that scares you. I can't watch Insidious. I can't.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
Why not?
There's a whole long story about this. Long, like the gist of it, long story short, like I'm not saying I experienced that word for word or like scene for scene, but if I personally have experienced something similar to that myself, where a buddy of mine that was like fully religious said that I need to contact a fucking priest because she thought I was actually going to try to get like possessed, and I'm like, the fuck. Long story short on this, when I was like way younger, like I'm still in like high school time range,
Yeah.
like back in the 1900s, maybe 1600s, I don't even know anymore. I was falling asleep on a couch, And there was, I don't know if anyone's ever experienced like waking up where you can't move. Like you're awake, you're awake, but you cannot move. Like
Oh, like
nothing.
you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you are
What is
trying
it?
to move.
It's like sleep neuropathy. I don't know. That might be totally wrong. Don't come at me
Nah.
if you actually know the right terminology. But it's like sleep, or is it sleep paralysis?
Maybe. I don't know.
I know someone, one of my friends, kind of had that happen once, and I was like, I'd be freaked out.
Oh, I was pissed. Like I'm staying over at a friend's house and I'm sleeping on their couch. And like I said, I'm back like this is high school. High school time. And for a while, like so before like what led up to it's like I used to go to haunted places. Me and my friends would go there and we'd check them out. And I found
Yeah.
out at one of the haunted places there was a church. I guess it's like a abandoned church. The graveyard's still up like on this hill, but it's in Wisconsin. And me and some friends went there. And a buddy of mine that's like very religious said like you can't leave the trail. The trail you walk, you cannot leave. If you leave the trail while walking, you are going to be chased. I'm thinking like, oh, whatever, this is bullshit. Like don't get me wrong, I do believe in ghosts, I do believe in spirits, I believe in that stuff. Like I said, especially after like the fucking stories I'm about to share. Eventually we're up this hill. There's a big ass like open area of like a field, like ish kind of area top of a hill, and there's just one
Yeah.
grave marker on the other end of this hill, on the other end of like this like dirt circle. Like there's no grass, nothing's growing in the middle, and it's not freshly plowed or nothing. You could tell this is like dead grass, like it's dead. This is not coming back. And there's a gravestone at the other end of the circle, and my buddy Allison just stops and he goes like, "We need to leave." Whereas like the rest of us are like, "Well, why? Like, what's going on?" Well, we look up and there, I shit you not, there's a girl in white with long black hair. And I'm thinking like, oh, cool. Someone has a gimmick. It looked realistic. I'm thinking this is
Yeah.
just someone wearing a costume. Well, if he's freaking out, and I know how he is, he's like, like the, oh, nothing can fucking like hurt me. I'll beat your ass up type of guy. He was always tough. He was
Yeah.
running scared. And I'm thinking, all right, well, if he's running, either this is a good prank, I'm going to go along with it. I start running. I'm not taking this seriously. The other two people with us, they're freaking out. They're taking this seriously. I run off the trail that we led up there because I'm like thinking like, no, it's going to happen. This is what I learned, that ghosts are real. You can come at me all you fucking want. I don't care what the hell any of you have to say. Ghosts are real. Because I look back, maybe like 30 feet behind me, there's that girl standing there. I'm thinking, okay, she's just a runner. It's just someone fucking around. Yeah. I run another handful of seconds. I look back. She's maybe like 15 feet behind me. And I'm thinking, oh, she's pretty quick. Uh-oh, I better pick up the pace. So now I'm booking it a little faster. And they're my friends. They have longer legs. They're leaving me in the dust. I'm still running. I look back. If I would have stuck my tongue out, I would have been fucking Frenching this girl. Like when I look back, if I'd have stuck my tongue out, my tongue would have been down her tonsils. I ran so fucking fast. I passed everyone. I got into my car. I was about to leave while they were still trying to run to my car. I'm in my car. I'm already starting it up and I'm about to leave out of the fucking parking lot. I was gone. I put whatever the fuck that guy's name is, Bolt, whatever, I don't remember the racer's name, the guy that runs, the fastest runner, Bolt. I'd have left his ass in the dust because I was fucking knees to fucking forehead at that point. I was gone. And I learned right then and there that ghosts exist. But it was shortly after that then where I started seeing someone in my sleep. Like, and I'm thinking it's just a nightmare because everyone gets nightmares. But they kept saying, say my name and everything will be fine. And I can remember that exactly fucking vividly. It's just, say my name and everything will be fine. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? And it was some kind of guy with like yellowish eyes and that stuff, and I could see his hands. Well, I saw Insidious, and there's a part in Insidious where you see this guy's like bony, creaky, long claw hands. Fucking same identical hands I saw as a kid. Now, fast forward again, like I said, I'm at the point now where I'm waking up on this friend's couch, and I can't move. I cannot move. But I see there's someone standing in his patio door, walking to me, sitting there saying, just say my name and everything will be fine. And I'm like, apparently I didn't know my friend's standing at the foot of my couch, sitting there going like, he goes like, dude, Chad, you sound pissed. and he sound angry and all this other crap. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what? He's like, you're looking at the patio door saying like, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna fight you. Like, you look like you're trying to move, but you're not moving. You are pissed. And I'm thinking like, well, yeah, like I didn't know what was going on. But he goes like, you're mad. And I'm like, well, okay. But apparently when I was able to move, I do remember I sat up and I was about to swing, and my friend was in front of me going like, dude, I've been trying to get you to like get back to here, like get back to earth. And like, you're mad. You're full on pissed. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you're mad. I'm like, yeah, didn't you not see who was like standing in your patio door? He's like, no. And I'm like, there was a guy standing in your patio door trying to like grab me. And he's like, no. He's like, you were just mad, but you weren't moving. And I'm like, holy crap, I don't know. But, and FYI, I know I just spoiled my name, but who cares now at this point? We've had too many mistakes anyways. I realized as I said it.
I did not put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, I did. Oh, well.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well.
All I'm saying is you really fucked up, man. Should never went to that place.
Well, I didn't expect that. Like I said, because I like I said, at first I didn't believe this stuff. I'm like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I've heard of like those miracle stories where they say people have had, it's like, oh, their guardian angel, whatever it is, and that I know is true. That I do know is true. Example: one of my uncles had gotten into a car accident when he was like way younger, and his whole car was totaled. I mean, it was crushed. But the only thing that wasn't touched was him, the steering wheel, and the driver's seat he was in. The windshield was smashed, his driver door was ripped off, like everything was fucked up. Yeah, he had some cuts and bruises, but like everything was smashed. Like if there had been anyone else sitting in that car, they would have been killed instantly. But he was like the fucking one lucky seat where they said, let's reinforce this area, in this car and sell it, like type of deal. So don't get me wrong, like I believe in ghosts, I believe in the guardian angels and that stuff. Like people have something watching out for you. Am I fully religious? Nah, I'll probably never will be. But I believe in that shit. And it's like I've witnessed it. I have other ghost stories I can share, but that's a whole nother time away.
That's a whole nother rant.
Yeah. But no, I can't watch Insidious because I will think of those times where I was told like just say my name. And I even like entertained my friend, and I even went to a priest here in our city. And I told them about it, and they said, yeah, it sounds like a demon was trying to possess your soul. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So like, do I believe it? I don't know. But at the same time, I do. But well, actually, there was another buddy of ours that we've had in the past, M. He could tell you some of the stories he's experienced. And he had a demon supposedly go after him. And if he's listening to this episode, he'll probably put a comment later on. Said, like, you don't call me out, asshole, but yeah. Anyways, how about you? Do you have a movie you won't watch?
What do you guys do in your life that you just attract them?
Well, summoning circles, pentagrams, sacrifice a goat or two.
Apparently.
Praise Ade Dule Dembala.
I will say though, with Insidious, I think I've only seen like the handful, first 1 or 2. I remember watching it in college with some roommates, but from what I've heard, it progressively gets worse. Like the next couple handfuls are not the greatest.
Like you're talking fear wise or quality wise?
I think I want to say both.
Okay.
I can't remember. One of my friends told me about it because they watched all of them, and they're like, they're not as great as the first 2. Okay. But I will say, if we're going off series, it's not a series that I can't watch. It's a series that I love to watch, and it's actually the Conjuring series.
But like not those.
Oh my gosh, great movies, hand down. And I'm not even talking like just the Conjuring, because the whole Conjuring universe includes The Nun, Annabelle, and I think like one other like off-brand movie that all kind of like encompasses into this. Like, it's not even just the Conjuring series, it's like the Conjuring universe of like there's a certain way to watch all those movies together, and I find it like so like interesting how they set that all up.
See, that's not bad. Like, that's not bad. I've
but you
never seen them, unfortunately.
I would definitely say you have to. Like, there's such great movies, and it's just an interesting, like, aspect of how, um, what was I gonna say? It's just interesting because it's based off of like true events, but there's just been so many controversies between, like, were these actual real, because these people basically, it's based off of like Ed and Lorraine Warren, and Ed is kind of, I forget his whole story, but Lorraine can kind of like see visions in a sense. I don't know, I might be like summing this up terribly,
It's
but
fun.
I don't I don't think she's a medium. She might be a medium. I don't know. I don't know the technical term that like she would use to like describe it, but like I know she would get like visions and stuff of like ghosts and like depending on where they'd be in like the setting, like bad things happening. But I think she could kind of like interact with spirits almost. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It could be a medium. I could be summing it up wrong. But like it's just an interesting, I think, story to see kind of how they take it. And granted, some of it might not be word for word true on exactly how, because you know movies like to play up things, like to play in a different like way of how like the actual story unfolds. But
Mm.
it's cool because they actually have I remember seeing YouTube videos on like people going to the house of Ed and Lorraine, and they actually used to, I don't know if it's they have them in a museum now, but they used to have a room in their house. I think it still might be there with all like the possessed items of spirits. And to this day they still actually have a priest go in there every, I think, week or day or so, just to like uh I don't know if is not baptized, but put holy water, do like the sign of the cross, like make sure that like none of them, like these spirits, can escape from these like, is it tokens or or yeah. Man, I'm at a loss for words on some of these things. But these like objects that apparently these like evil spirits possess.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
But
that's oh, go
it's
ahead, go ahead.
definitely a series you need to check out.
Okay. I said I'm definitely like I gotta watch. There's a lot of movies I have to watch. Like I have yet to see Pulp Fiction. I have yet to see like a few other movies I can think of off the top of my head that people are like, "How have you never seen this?" And it's just, I don't know. Like I said, yeah, I'm missing out on a lot of movies. Like I love my
Oh yeah, for
movies, but
sure.
I've yet to like watch them.
I actually had a friend from college who made like lists of movies, and I don't know if it was just it was a list, but then he would rank them in kind of like best to worst movies. And it
Okay.
was super nice because like I would have to say in college I wasn't that immersed with the movie culture. Like I kind of hadn't seen a whole lot of movies. So I remember like he gave me his whole list and I would just like chunk off time to watch these certain movies. And I definitely got into like the horror side of movies because there are definitely really, I keep feel like I keep saying definitely a lot, but
You definitely are, but
there
you're fine.
I know. There are a ton of movies within that horror genre that like I would not necessarily see myself watching, but sitting down watching them, like they were like super good movies to watch.
Okay.
And I know even I could probably just list off a couple and you probably would have no clue what I'm talking about, but they're super great movies.
I'll
And it's
try it.
so funny because one of my coworkers and I will like talk about movies and horror movies all the time. And we'll just go back and forth, be like, have you seen this one? No. Okay. Have you seen this one?
I mean, like I say, you just gotta like ask. Like I said, there's some movies like I guarantee that I've watched that no one's ever heard of. Like I can guarantee fucking it. Like Warriors of Virtue. Have you ever heard of that movie?
I've heard of it. I don't know if I've seen it, but I've definitely heard of that.
Okay, okay. Um, Shockingly, I've heard of people I've never heard of or never seen Indian in a Cupboard.
I don't think I've even heard of that one.
It's a little fun little movie. Basically, the gist of it is, kid has a magic cupboard, puts a toy in there, opens the door, toy's alive. Shuts the door, toy is back to being a toy. Whatever it is. Has a little like Indian figurine he puts in there, and all of a sudden, like, the guy's alive, and he's trying to attack the kid. Kid shuts it,
Yeah.
toy is back to whatever it stood as last. Um,
Ooh.
he has a cowboy. I think he had a cowboy friend, I think, or something. He had someone else. Yeah, I think it was a cowboy that came to life, and they tried to fight each other for a bit. Typical, back then, stereotypical cowboys versus Indians, like everyone knows. And excuse me. Um, someone, I want to say, dies in that movie. Like, one of the toys die, and so to save the body from it decomposing, at least now I think about it now, is the kid puts the dead body back in the cabinet and like has it like, set up as if it was dead, like arms across the chest, I want to say, like as if it was to be presented in a casket. And
Hmm.
they close it, open it up, and it's like the body's now toyed. It's a toy. And I'm thinking like, man,
What the
now
heck?
I think about it, that's dark. That's supposed to be like
Oh,
a nice little movie. It's like, a kid's just trying to save his toys that he brought to life, and ends up now he's gonna be what is it called? Like a necrophilia. He has a dead fucking body as a toy.
have you ever seen Hereditary?
Yes, I can't watch that either.
Why? Why?
That was gross.
I okay, here's my thing about Hereditary. And I think there will be people that will agree with me on this if you've ever seen this movie. I had no fucking clue what happened in the end. I remember watching it and I'm like, I finished watching it, I'm like, the fuck did I just watch? Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand this ending. And usually, like, endings for me, like, I can kind of get a grasp on, but that one, I was like, I was just in awe. I'm like, I have no clue what just happened or what is going on or how this ended. And like any way I tried to think of it did not make sense in my head. And I don't know. I feel like there's definitely people out there who I don't think I've ever talked to someone yet who's understand or understood the ending of that movie.
Just gonna Google it now to make it seem like I understand the ending of that movie.
Wow,
The
I see how it is. That's what I should have
ending.
done. I'm surprised I haven't actually Googled that. I should have. But I was like, I think it was just also, I don't know. It was just a weird movie. Like, you know how you have like horror movies that are weird? I wouldn't say it was weird necessarily good, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily weird bad. It was just overall weird. And there were
Okay.
so many moments that I'm like, why am I watching this?
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the end of like what it all means, and it's just all right.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
like it's okay.
Have you ever seen The Sixth Sense?
Yes, that seems. Wait, is that Bruce Willis?
I think so. But I will
Yes, yeah, the kid that's like, I see dead people. Yeah,
I will debatably say that was one of the better horror movies. Or I don't even know if you would classify it really well. I don't know. It's kind of under horror, but I will definitely say that is arguably one of my favorite ones that I've watched.
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I do recall it a little bit. It's been fucking forever since I've seen it,
Like I
but
definitely don't want I won't spoil it, but it was definitely one of those that you watched it and you got to the end and you're like, dang. Like it's like a mind twist almost.
hmm
Like you know what I mean? Like I know people who've watched it and were like, "Oh, I knew right away that's like the movie." And I remember I watched it and I maybe kind of was putting two and two together, but it really took till the end to be like, "Wow, I feel really dumb now for not like realizing that right at the beginning." But yeah, I definitely have to say that is for sure one of my favorite movies. Even though I've only watched it once. I would have to
okay,
say is like definitely one of my favorite ones.
okay, okay.
But I'm also
Um,
one of those people, like, I don't know how you are. I can't watch TV series unless like they're super great. So I've had to depend on watching movies because that I can sit there and watch in one sitting where like TV series can last like 15 seasons and I get bored.
See, I'm similar with that. Like to me, like well, actually, ironically, currently I'm binge watching all the Chucky movies right now. You know, I just watched through Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. I'm on Bride of Chucky. And it's like, I'm going to go to Seed of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, Curse of Chucky. Or no, it's Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky. And then it's like the TV series. Like, I'm watching the TV series. Because like it leads off of those movies.
Yeah.
Like me, like when it comes to watching a movie, if the first 5 episodes don't catch my attention, I won't watch it. I don't know how many shows, like anime, TV series, streaming TV series. If the first 5 episodes cannot catch me or keep my attention, I just drop it face of the earth. I don't give a shit about it anymore. You know, it's I don't know. Like I said, it's like I'd rather not waste my time with it, I guess you could say. But like when it comes to movies, oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. You know, it's like I've already done one of those where I've been watch all the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies that are extended deluxe editions, whatever they're called. Like each movie's now like almost 2 to 3 hours long. And it's like I've watched through all of them in a weekend, like all 6 movies in a weekend. And it's like, you know, yeah.
I will say, speaking of bringing up Chucky, I've never seen that movie series, but is that one of those movies that kind of like it gets old after a while, or does it actually consistently have decent quality movies every time a new one comes out?
So yes and no. So Child's Play 1, 2, and 3, great. They let up. Obviously, they could tell they got tired of the content that was being made with them, so they went to made Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chucky, phenomenal. They show Chucky's true like way is. They introduce Tiffany, new character. Great, phenomenal story. They're showing how like more instead of just like trying to combine the bodies. Like not to spoil it too much and anything, but it's like if you ever down to watch Chucky, let me know. I will happily sit my ass down with you, and we will watch every single Chucky movie that there is to existence in the TV series. But I will say when it got to Seed of Chucky, like it just died. Like it went downhill. Like Chucky and Child's Play, they're meant to be horror, like intense thriller, like maybe jump scares. Seed of Chucky was more of like a comedy horror. And then with obviously like, and you could tell like that movie bombed in The Office or whatever it was in, because then when it got to, I want to say it was Curse of Chucky was next. I want to say Curse of Chucky. You could tell that was like such a low budgeted movie, like so low budgeted. And then the next one was like maybe the same type of budgeting. And then I think it was Cult. Yeah, Curse and Cult. And that's like when it's like, okay, we can't continue with the movies. We're not making money off of this. Let's make a TV series. Now the TV series, phenomenal. The TV series brought it back. And they're bringing characters from the first like 4 movies, like Child's Play 1 through 3, Bride of Chucky if they survived, any people that survived those movies, of course, and like even from the new movies of like Seed of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, people that survived, they're bringing those actors into the TV series, and it's like holy shit, like now it's good. Granted, their seasons are only like 6 episodes long, I think, which I don't get why a lot of shows are doing that lately. Like, don't give us just 6 episodes. Give us 25.
Oh my gosh.
Give us
don't even get me
25.
started on that. My biggest frustration right now, I don't know if you've ever seen The Witcher.
I have not.
Movie series, or not movie series, great TV series, along with some other ones on like Netflix here and there that like I'll dabble in and they turn out to be really good. But my biggest pet peeve in when it's like, oh, here's 6 episodes. You won't get the next 6 till like a year or 2.
Right.
Or it's one of those where they release half of it and it's just like they'll release the first one in the next 6 in like a certain time span, and then you gotta wait a couple months for them to release the like back half of the season, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to know what happened.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong, that's great at fucking like keeping your attendance, like keeping your audience like attached. You know, it's like, but oh my god, like I hate shows that do that. You know, it's like Chucky, I want to say the first like 2 seasons were 6 to 8 episodes each. And now this one, I think it's like 3 or 4. I think I'm on episode 4. I think maybe it's only 4. And then it's going to do another 4. But it's like, we'll return in 2024. And I'm thinking, motherfucker, like we just got through episode 4 and you're going to leave it on this? No. I'm going to find where those producers are. That's the last thing they're gonna hear, and I'm gonna say, release those fucking episodes. Do it.
Or like you get to the ones where they'll have like the 10 episodes that are like maybe 45 minutes long. And you're like, oh, that's great. But then you like binge watch it and then you get to the last one. You're like, great. Now I gotta wait a year or two to see how this picks up. Like, this is gonna kill me. Like, honestly.
Yep.
Oh, I hate those.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love long episodes. Like, I do. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's like, but the problem is though, what the people that are like making these shows don't understand. There are assholes and losers and like, I guess you could say like lazy fuckers like us that will sit down for a day and we'll binge that whole series in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that episode is like 5 minutes long or it's an hour long, we will binge through a season like in a day or a weekend because we're that attached to a series. But instead they go, oh, here's a 45-minute episode. You're only going to get 6 this season. That's it. And then you got to wait 6 next year for the second half of the season. It's like, no. Give us the whole season so we have something to play off of instead of making us wait. Because like there's been shows where like I've completely forgot. Like I've yet to watch Loki, the second season of Loki. Because I think it's been like 2 years since a season dropped for it. Like I lost interest, even though I'm a Marvel fan and I definitely have to catch up and like get onto those TV series. Because like those shows lead into like the Marvel movies and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I'm waiting for the whole series to drop, like that season to drop. And then I'm going to go binge it. Like there's Goosebumps on Disney Plus and some others. I think it's Hulu. Yeah. That every episode, they're dropping an episode every Friday. I'm waiting for all the episodes to drop. Then I'm going to go binge watch them.
I definitely saw that and was added that to my to watch TV shows was that Goosebumps one. Mm-hmm. But I definitely have to say, at least watch the pilot of The Witcher and then give me what you think. Because let me tell you, when people are like, I binge watched this TV show. I don't think I got any sleep for a good like 24 hours.
Damn.
I like food, sleep deprived, in the middle of college, probably had shit going on, but I still was so committed to watching these because they were so good that it was a brutal like day or two because oh my gosh, especially at 45 minutes long. Man, let me tell you, my whole time was consumed by this TV series.
Oh, that reminds me of what was it called? As I was saying, this is leading me off into like another TV series or TV series movie. So there's a movie called Thanksgiving, and it's about a puppet like turkey that's trying to kill people, and like Thanksgiving, the first movie, it's just wow, it was shit. The budget was $3,500.
Oh God.
That's it. Like that's full on it to the T. Then they made a second one called Thanksgiving 3. You heard me right. They made a second movie called Thanksgiving 3.
I think these people need to go back to math class.
Well, if I remember correctly, I want to say Thanksgiving see, let me look. I got to find out the information because I want to say Thanksgiving 3 made a joke about Thanksgiving 2 not coming or something like that. I want to say I got to look now. I know there was some that they made a joke about it. Like, oh, it's like we're in the search of Thanksgiving 2. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it is, a foul. Okay. This is what the trailer is for. So this is what it is called. Thanksgiving 3. It's called a foul-mouthed villain turkey carves through the likes of a rapping grandma, a mindless puppet, a wig-wearing inventor, a bisexual space worm, and their equal ridiculous friends on his quest to recover the last copy of Thanksgiving 2. Like they're trying to find the movie in that movie.
Oh my God.
Like that's what that movie's about. But like, what the fuck? It's just so... Yeah, it's like that's going to lead in kind of like into my next topic that I could think of on this is like there's some budgeting for movies that are just like, wow, you're not getting paid with how this acting is. Like, not to get too TMI, but with Thanksgiving, you're going to see a part where there's a girl thinks she's getting it with her boyfriend, and you're not going to see anything, but you're gonna see her
Yeah.
legs up in the air, and it's gonna like whatever. But then like the boy gets killed. She doesn't look. I mean, she was open her eyes, she would see he dies. But instead, her eyes are closed, and she's like, "Oh yeah," whatever the guy's name is. Well, then the turkey takes the place. And the turkey's like,
God.
and now the voices are not the same. Like the guy's voice is like, "Oh yeah, let's go, baby, yeah." Turkey's voice is like, "Oh, don't you like it, bitch? Like you can't, like you, how the fuck do you not know the difference?" It's like again, we know it's a movie, but still, movie logic here, people. And he's like, "Yeah, you like getting stuffed like a turkey?" She's like, "Oh yeah, babe, I love it." He's like, "Yeah," and then eventually, like I think he kills her during it, and I'm just like, the fuck.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, but it's like there's just some of those movies where it's like like that $30,000 budget. Thanksgiving 3 had $100,000 budget, and it's just like wow. But
The
back to
budget definitely can kind of tell you
oh yeah,
how the movie's gonna play out for sure.
oh god yeah. But no, I have to. I'll watch The Witcher. Going back to what you were talking about before, I have to watch The Witcher. I know it was based off a video game series. I never played the video games, but
It was actually based off of the books.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I did buy like the first three books, and let me tell you, I
Oh.
still have not finished the first one. Just have not found the time, but
Okay.
definitely have to, because the books are always better than the movies.
Oh god yeah.
So.
Oh god yeah. A book can last you like 6 hours if you're reading it front to back, and your imagination's the one that's going to give you all the power. But where it's like a movie, they got to put like a whole book into like an hour and a half to 2 hour movie. It's like the first Harry Potter. Well, I take it back. The first Lord of the Rings. Let's go back to nerding out on this. The first Lord of the Rings, like that book on its own probably could have covered like 3 movies on its own, but it was dumbed down to 1 movie. And yeah, there's like I said, a lot of those shows that come from like movies or even manga, they just they don't really hit the same.
I will say though, I do hate the books where like it'd be such a great movie and no one has made it into a movie yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I will find that frustrating. I'm like, as much as I know that the movie's not gonna be as great, I want to see this play out on like a TV screen.
Okay.
But that's me sometimes. Like I know the book's better, but there are
Mm-hmm.
some books that I'm like, oh, I just wish there was a movie on this, because I'd definitely watch it.
I mean, that would be good. Like I said, I can't really think of any books that I've read that like were movie related or could be. Well, no, there is one that could have been a movie, but I haven't picked it up in forever now. But there's some of them out there. Yeah, like I can agree with that. Like even if it wasn't a TV show, or if it was a TV show, like they could easily turn this into a movie. Like one of those. There's some of those out there. I think I can't remember what kind some of them are, but well, you mostly see those more. I see those more with anime. Than like normal TV shows. Like for example, Supernatural. Love that TV show. Love it. Wish they made a movie. They never will. But love the TV series.
Just started the TV series not too long ago.
Oh, you're in for a ride.
Just because, well, part of it was like my brother and I want to watch it together, but our schedules are never aligned and we're like always busy. So I'm like at the point where I think I'm just gonna watch it myself.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't
did
blame
you know they made totally random, off track, but did you know they made like a joining TV series off of it?
Yep.
With like teenagers.
Yep. I want to say think it's the story that follows their parents, if I remember correctly, unless it's a whole nother series.
I don't know, but it's like it starts with a W, but I forgot
The Winchesters?
how it's pronounced. Yes, the Winchesters.
Yeah, so then that's the show. Yep, that's the show. I think it's based off of the parents when they were younger.
I have watched that whole show series. Great series. So I'm like, I definitely have to watch Supernatural now.
Yeah, technically, I was gonna say that's technically a prequel to Supernatural. So yeah, okay. I'm not a fan of those though. Like, not saying like that, but like I'm not a fan of like you have a TV series or a movie and like you're watching, it's like, oh cool, this is awesome, this is great. Then all of a sudden, like a handful of years later, well, here's the prequels. Like, but you gave us the origin story in the first one. Why would you give us like a season 2 is the whole backstory of season 1? Like now I gotta watch season 2 to go to season 1 and blah 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 blah. Like don't get me wrong, I get they gotta introduce things if there's questions, but don't do that. The only exception
I
I'll give
will
is
say
Star Wars.
the TV series though for that was actually pretty good. Like I will say, granted, I haven't seen Supernatural, so it might have been different if I saw that and then were to watch the Winchesters. But the Winchesters was really good, I will have
Okay.
to say.
All right. All right.
But kind of, I don't know if you want to start wrapping this up.
Yeah, we probably should. Oh yeah, we've been almost for an hour. Man, our episodes
But
are getting long.
my last thought before we kind of end this and get this ended, I feel like I don't know if you could consider this maybe like an OG one, but I feel like a very talked about movie, horror movie, Halloween movie is It.
Ooh, okay.
So I kind of want to get thoughts on that before we wrap up because I feel like we have to talk about it if we're going to talk about all these
All
horror
right.
movies.
All right. Well, it's actually, I was just gonna now. My first idea or my first thought that came to my head when you were saying this is: are you talking about the original, or are you talking about the remakes? Or are you talking about both?
I think if you have to talk about it, you're going to have to talk about both.
Okay. I don't
But
recall. No, go ahead. Sorry. Sorry.
I will say, like before we get into it, I've seen both of them. Not the greatest fan of clowns, I guess, but I will have to say the first one was a lot better than the second one.
The first movie to the second movie, like
The
remakes,
first
or the first
the
set of
first
them to.
remake.
Okay. So, like you're saying, episode like the first movie remade or remake was better than the second movie remake.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your making sure. Okay, I got that. Because I've seen bits and pieces of the originals. Because originally, if I remember correctly, they were a TV series, and then it got edited to be put into a movie. If I remember correctly, I gotta look that up now before I like completely like end up bashing someone's like hopes. It
Filmmaking.
it film TV series.
It's interesting, all like the old horror movies that they've remade, kind of while you're searching it up, but like how, like even with Pet Cemetery, I've never seen the remake and I've never seen the original, but it's just interesting now how recently they've been making remakes, like newer remakes to these horror movies. But I guess that's nothing new because a lot of different production companies are making remakes to not even just horror movies.
Okay. So apparently I might be wrong. It might actually. Okay, so it's kind of like they pulled like a Star Wars from what I'm seeing here, but again, I could be wrong. From what I'm seeing is like a Star Wars type feel. They did episode one on, and that was like the first movie, and then they did episode two, which was the second movie. But why is it being declared a TV miniseries if it's a full on
Interesting.
movie? Yeah, TV
That is interesting.
miniseries, 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours long ish. That's one hell
It's
of
a
a
mini
TV
series, just
miniseries.
3.5 hours long
Yeah.
for two.
That sounds about right. An hour and 15 minutes or hour and 45 minutes each. That's a good episode,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, it's all the commercials, 2 hours. Yeah. No, I will say I did like the remakes. Um, I thought they were good. I liked them. I like using the voice as Pennywise, like, "Hiya, Georgie." It's
Oh
like,
my
"Oh, I
gosh,
got
of
your boat,"
course.
and it's like, "You'll float too, you'll float too," and then shit like that. But um, where's Kay when we need her? It's like da 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 da.
Yeah, the one
uh,
afraid of clowns.
right. Um, but no, I like them. I like them. I like the remakes. Uh, Second one, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen them. But
Yeah,
speaking of that, speaking of kind of leading, or no, let's get your feedback before we go into one more part I have.
I think for me it was always overhyped, just because like I was not. It's not like I don't have a fear of clowns. It just like seemed very creepy and like a movie I wouldn't watch. But when I did end up watching it, it was a decent overall movie. I don't think I'd rate it high on my list of horror movies just because like I've seen a lot of other ones that I would consider to be great ones, but it was definitely I wouldn't I would have I definitely would have watched it again. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have like I don't wish that I never watched it, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
I get you. I get you. I might have to watch that today when I'm done watching Chucky and
The
Child's Play
first
and all them.
episode of The Witcher.
Oh yeah, that too. Listen, it's on my list. I got a million shows to watch and TV series and movies, and I end up just rewatching shit I've already watched more than once.
I
But
I'm definitely a person that does that.
nah, it's I can rewatch shit. I know some people that can't. I don't know why they can't, but that's just me. I can. I can
It
happily go rewatch
depends.
something.
I can't rewatch everything, but there's certain things that I will love rewatching all the time.
Yep, yep. I was just to say, like, there's certain things no, I can't, but the majority, yeah. But I was gonna say back to like the remakes though, like for example, like Child's Play got a remake. So the original Child's Play was about a person that was and like that supernaturally possessed a doll. He moved his soul into a doll's body and became a notorious serial killer through that. They did a remake of this, and the remake flopped hard. The remake was Child's Play again, same name, but
Yeah.
the doll was a robotic like animatronic doll, but the guy got upset at work, fucked with some security things, and then ended up jumping out of like I think I don't know how the guy killed himself in the movie. I don't remember if like he did something like bad to himself, otherwise he jumped out of a window and fell to his death. But that doll then didn't have like any security features onto it, and like that movie flopped, and it made people apparently afraid of technology because the first thing they're thinking like, oh, Alexa can do this, because that doll was able to entwine itself to like say your Alexa products, where it can
Oh my
control your
gosh.
heating, your lights, your power, like every
Yeah.
fucking thing, because everything was based off of that one thing. Of course they're gonna have a movie series where it's like you have the iPhone, no, 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 I have the Alexa phone, or whatever it's called, or whatever they had it called in there. It's like I have that phone that syncs to my doll, my toilet, my garage opener, and even my vibrator in the parking lot. Like that's what I got. And it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, like I said, there's just some of those. It's just like, I don't know. The remakes, no. The originals, yes. But there are some where the remakes are better than the originals. So
Hmm.
it's a horse apiece. But
Oh
not to
yeah, for
keep
sure.
rambling off. Sorry, I love movies. Like I could sit and watch movies all weekend long. If people say, "Hey, we're gonna have a movie night or movie day," like I've already camped at friends' houses where we stayed there and like we just got in the basement. They put on their TV on. We had our sleeping bags. We had a bunch of food, blah 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 blah, drinks, snacks. Fucking ordering in, ordering out, whatever it is. Someone runs it as like a McDonald's rung at like 1 in the morning, or whatever it is, because we're binge watching movies. You fall asleep at your own risk because you're probably going to wake up with your hand in a water bottle or hand in a water bowl or markers drawn on your face, but you didn't care because people are watching the movie. It's like, but then eventually when everyone else slept, you slept because, it's like, fuck, I don't want to get drawn on or have like someone try to make me pee my pants in my sleep, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's like, I'm down for that. I'd
Yeah.
be down for that. Let's all meet up. Let's all go to someone's house, sit in their basement, watch some movies together, binge watch them over and over, a bunch of movies, and yeah.
I would say movie binge weekends are the
Oh
greatest.
yeah. Oh
Greatest
god,
thing to
yeah.
happen.
Oh god, yeah. I agree.
But going into that, since we're running pretty long on this one,
This is your fault.
sorry, I guess we can start ending it. For those of you listening, again, thanks for putting up with Z. I know he can be a lot sometimes and go on his rambles,
What the fuck?
but we enjoy you listening to us, even if you might not like listening to us, I guess. Who knows? Gotta add that.
Yeah.
And of course, we're learning, we're new to this. There'll be some hiccups along the way.
9 episodes long
And
so far.
huh?
9 episodes long so far.
Yeah, getting up there. But with that being said, our next episode has to do with holidays, since we're getting into the busy part of our year where it's holiday after holiday here. So our next question for you is, what would you say is the best and worst holiday you have like experienced or just want to experience or don't want to experience?
Okay.
Including what were you, like work holidays, I guess you could say, or maybe
Okay. Yeah.
add
Work
that to
related
the queue.
holidays, normal holidays,
Hmm.
religious
Kind of
holidays.
encompassing some and all.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, if you are still here, then apparently you are strong enough to deal with your feelings. Thanks again for listening in.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening. I'm Z.
And of course, I'm D.
We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Halloween debates, holiday debates. Bye bye.
Wow. Bye.